Friday, March 2nd, about 10 o'clock. And I reported at some point earlier this week, I believe it was probably Monday, it was beginning of the week, and really just to kind of give a update of where I was at, what I was doing, kind of to follow up on really Friday of last week, because I was very uncomfortable Friday of last week, and as I talked about in my recording this week, I had a fever, and it was kind of just, it was a shitty day. It was just long, and I did not feel good. I was out of sorts, and was a little confused as why I was dealing with a fever, and didn't really have any other symptoms, and just managed to get through the day, and managed to get home, and sat on the couch until about 8:45, and then went to bed early, had a very uncomfortable night's sleep, but it was the dreams that one of the things that I was really interested in and really wanted to document was anytime I have fever dreams, they're odd, and they have a lot to do with what's going on in my body, and if you can interpret your own dreams and the symbolism that's in there, you can kind of get an understanding of what you're going through. And this all reverts back to conversion, converting energy or thought or ideas, something from the unseen side of things to the visible side. And that's always been intriguing to me. It's always been, for the last several years, it's been a big part of my mindset, my philosophy, is the conversion of the unseen to the seen. And it was kind of good timing, I guess. I felt a little questions and a lot of confusion because I didn't feel right. I definitely wasn't operating to my optimal levels. My awareness was affected by this, and it affected how I was doing things, which was making me irritable because I'm used to being very just snap, click, just roll. Just things are going along. I'm just making things happen. I anticipate. I'm aware, and that was all being hindered. And again, I was getting very agitated by it. I was getting very short-tempered with everybody because of how I was feeling, and it was compounded by feeling relatively good at one point and then feeling not so good, so a couple hours later, maybe a day later. So there was no chance to adjust because there's that adaptation period where it doesn't matter what you're doing, there's conditioning involved and you become accustomed to it. So when you become sick that first day, you're like, holy shit, you're really noticing the difference between when you felt good and when you didn't, and then you become accustomed to it, you become used to it, and you kind of settle into it and it runs its course and you don't feel it. So with this fluctuation, I was never really getting that ability to settle into any one state because nothing was constant. It was always fluctuating. But pretty much every night from Friday until the night before last, I had a very uncomfortable, I did not sleep well any of those nights. I need a second here to get my bearings. I have this property that I'm going to. Okay. I know where the location is, but I hadn't plotted out which direction was going to be the best way to go. So, anyway, with that inability to stay in any one state long enough to adapt, it made it very traumatic almost. So everything was just out of sorts. I did not sleep well. Almost pretty much every night was periods of feeling feverish, night sweats, chills. Now I've got this tickle in the back of my throat. Throat again, which has been coming and going, which makes it difficult to talk. Easily and slept well through the night. I felt good. I'm like, wow, maybe I'm finally through this. Backtracking just a little bit, 2 days prior to that, the day prior to that, I started to notice I was getting more congestion, a little bit more sneezing, a little bit more coughing, and it's an adjustment, and I think the body there has to have some type of a reason behind, some kind of explanation, and the illness for one reason or another is universally is the explanation that we've accepted. So, and I kind of touched on that, and I had talked a little bit about how my illnesses over the last couple of years, if it wasn't actually an illness, anytime I didn't feel well, I went through some kind of a bug or whatever, that my symptoms were dramatically reduced from what I had traditionally experienced in my life, and felt like I was accomplishing the same thing without having to go through the discomfort that would normally accompany that kind of a phase. So as the week has gone on, I've really kind of been in that mindset. Why am I experiencing this? I should be, and I am, in one of the happiest states that I've ever been in because of what I've been able to do in the last 6.5 years since we decided to come to Texas, and what I'm attempting to do next, as it all feels very natural and very synchronous. It just seems like it is moving in the exact way that it is supposed to, and everything is going to happen for the best. And on top of that, I've been eating well. I've been taking my supplements. I maintain a healthy lifestyle for the most part. I choose to see it as healthy, and this is where perception and perspective kind of play into this. I choose to see it as healthy. I live a healthy lifestyle. Now, there's people that live different lifestyles that would look at my lifestyle and say, that's not healthy. It's all on how you perceive it. And I perceive it as a healthy lifestyle. So why would I be going through this? So I'm thinking, all right, well, I'm taking this deeper look at sickness, illness, disease, and suffering that's affiliated with any of those topics. And that's where I've really spent this whole last week, and I've really not been able to spend much time thinking about anything else. So, again, several days ago, it seemed like this was getting worse. Okay, so I've been having all these things, and it's fine. My body's doing some things, and it's not been comfortable, but it hasn't been unbearable. It hasn't been really all that unpleasant. It's just been uncomfortable, and I've been a little out of sorts, which is, for me, I don't like, because I like being in that optimal functioning state of mind. But all of a sudden, now I'm getting this green mucus, and starting to think, all right, well, now I've got something else that's trying to take hold here. So I had increased my colostrum intake from the get-go on Friday when I didn't feel well, and I've been doing that every day. A day or so into that, I increased my black cumin intake again to try and combat whatever might be going on internally. And then at the day that I noticed all that nasty stuff, I started on the colloidal silver and oregano oil. And the first day I did not feel well. The second day, I didn't feel much better, but I did not have this cough. I did not have any of this. But that second night, which was the night before last, I slept great. I was like, all right, well, my body must be overcoming this. Well, then I woke up yesterday and I didn't feel very well at all, and started to develop all of this sinus drainage, which it would come and go. It happened probably about 2 or 3 times, two times yesterday during the day, where it kind of flared up like it kind of is now. It was giving me this tickle, this itch, and was making me cough. And it got to one point yesterday afternoon It was one of the most violent coughing episodes I think I've ever had, or close to, where I got to the point where I didn't think I was going to be able to hold my dinner down. We were coughing so much, I was on the verge of throwing up, and I could not get it under control. And I sat on the chair. Rhonda finally got out of bed, concerned about me, and was asking, what can I do? Are you okay? Do you want me to take you to the doctor? I'm like, no, I don't want any of that. I just want to sort it out. I'm just trying to get my body to calm down. Right now, it's flared up, it's aggravated, and the more I cough, the more it's making me cough, the more. So I sat there for a little bit, and I kind of just meditated and started thinking, all right, well, this is really all a result of my sinuses draining for some reason. I have no idea why. And I'm like, I might just break down and take something to kind of dry it up. I mean, I've gotten to that point in the past where, it's getting to be too much. I need to get some sleep. If I don't get some sleep, I'm not going to be in a good position tomorrow. And I'm not going to be able to sleep if I can't stop coughing. So I went and I looked, and we didn't have anything. So I went back up in the chair. I was just thinking about, I just need my sinuses to dry up. I just need it to stop doing what it's doing. And it was almost immediate. I mean, like that. I was sitting there in that chair. It had been less than a minute from when I walked out of the bedroom from looking in the medicine cabinet to going out and sitting in that chair, and all of a sudden it just started, I started to feel drier. I started to feel no congestion. I started to feel the ability to breathe clearer. The tickle in my chest and my throat were gone. And I sat there for a few minutes. I'm like, all right, well, let me just make sure this is going to stick, because this has been, again, an up and down kind of a week, maybe this is just a fluctuation. So I sat there for a little bit, and I just relaxed, and I closed my eyes, and I just concentrated on breathing and not having drainage, any kind of itch, any kind of issue, period. And I felt good, so I'm like, I'm going to try this. I'm going to go get in bed and see what happens. And I did. And I went right to sleep. And I slept the whole night. I woke up a couple of times and adjusted position or rolled over. But I got a good night's sleep. And I was having some strange dreams throughout the night, which not uncommon, especially when I'm going through something like that. And this is where I'm getting into the part now of the subject matter that I really wanted to talk about, which was really in the forefront of my mind this morning, and I was really like, I need to talk about this before I forget about it, before I lose this connection. And got two properties to go to. One's that way, one's that way. I'll go to this one first. So, I woke up at some point and was just soaked in sweat. I had just, like, that kind of fever break, just you're absolutely soaked in sweat, and pulled the covers off because it's really uncomfortable when you are in that kind of a situation, and let myself it was freezing when I took the covers off because I was soaked and the fan was blowing on me, but my body kind of adapted, adjusted, and I felt better after a minute or so, and started to dry off, and I started to feel good. I started to feel clear. I felt like I got a great night's sleep, and I felt good. And I was curious to what time it was. Because I felt like I had slept plenty. I felt like it was probably pretty close to time to get up. And I kind of laid there and kind of faded in and out, and then the alarm went off. I'm like, all right, well, it's 6 o'clock. I know I've got 5 more alarms to go off here within the next hour, and I can go into that phase of my morning. started to fade into this dream state almost immediately, and was awakened by my alarm every 10 minutes or 15 minutes, depending on whatever interval that was, because they vary. I was in this heavy dream state though, and it was the dream of subject matter and the feeling that really had the most impact, because didn't feel like I was fully asleep. I felt like I was awake enough to be able to hear what was going on in the room, but was in this strong, deep dream state where I was visually very active in my mind. I was seeing this, and it was this system of existence that I was engaged in or involved in that was based on code, mathematical code. And there was all of these equations, and you could pick an equation and you could enter into an existence under that equation with a preset breakout of terms and results that were applied to the circumstances of that existence. And then when you were done, you could pick a different one. So I really was seeing this as the way we exist in life. And my alarm would go off and I'd wake up and I'd look around and I'd be like, that is interesting. And then I would doze back off and end up in the exact same state. And I was actually seeing specific numbers as I was going through this, and I can't remember any of them now. But I was seeing multiple scenarios of this, like stacked on top of each other. So time wasn't really relevant, because in my mind I was kind of keeping track of how much time was in these intervals between when the alarms were going off. And in this dream state, I was trying to apply a certain context of time and it didn't quite fit. It wasn't what I would consider. It seemed normal in the dream, but again, it was somehow placing yourself into these mathematical equations and participating in some type of an activity for any length of time, and the length of time wasn't predetermined. And it was very, I can't explain. There are not words. There's nothing in our language that can convert what I was seeing to some type of a context that somebody else that didn't experience it would be able to understand. But it just left me with this fantastic understanding of our reality, and a very reassuring sense that what I have been doing, everything I've done, and what I'm moving toward is exactly what I'm supposed to do. And I woke up probably after that third or fourth alarm, and I was still hovering in that spot. And I started to see a connection between illness and transition. And I had mentioned just a little bit ago and earlier this week that I've always felt like that I've always gone through some type of a transition during any type of an illness. And the last week I've really tried to understand the purpose of illness, which is, there's so many things in life that I don't want to say that people identify with as bad or negative, or label bad. Illness and disease, definitely one of them, right up at the top. can't say that I've ever disagreed. I would say that it's not good. It's not, but I've always understood that it's got to have some kind of purpose. In the last week, I've really been trying to wrap my mind around what that purpose could be. And in that process this morning, and over the last week of really spending my time engaged in that mindset, I felt like I took something away last night. I felt like I reached a state and was able to get something, and the only terminology I can use is a piece of code, a piece of a sequence that I have not yet acquired. And I started getting these different scenarios in my mind, metaphors that would kind of relay or convert what I'm talking about. And the first thing that came to mind was like medals or ribbons, or the Boy Scouts. And I was never a Boy Scout, but I know you get merit badges, and there's certain ones for certain things, and they're getting increasingly difficult as you get older to get. And it's a pretty big accomplishment if you get all of them. So all of a sudden I'm thinking about that concept as applied to this reality. And there's certain things that you get. You come into existence and you automatically, you learn how to walk, you learn how to talk, you learn how to write, you learn how to read. And as these things are going, you're getting little bits and pieces of code, of equations. You're getting different parts that can create different equations. And there's certain things hidden in certain experiences that you can get these merit badges, these pieces that allow you to expand your level of experience. And it really hit me that illness is one of those things, in theory here. And that I achieved something last night. I was able to go through something that I definitely wouldn't have chosen for myself. I didn't understand the entire week why I was going through it. It never got to the point where I was like, I'm miserable. I just was uncomfortable. And as I started to wake, started to come fully into consciousness, that carried over, and there was a feeling of joy, of gratitude, of achievement that I was able to get in. It's kind of like an adventure. It's like going in or going on this quest to find this speck of golden sand that is priceless. But when put together with the entirety of your reality, it can change your entire being. And that's how powerful this was for me this morning. And it's still carrying with me. It is, as much as I've been distracted by the ongoings of property management and the level of ignorance that you deal with on a daily basis with some people, and as much as that can aggravate me and frustrate me and cause me to lose my temper, I'm still pretty well locked into this mindset, and it's something I want to spend more time dwelling on, thinking about. But this concept of experience and this concept of adding to the coating of our makeup by going through different experiences. And I'm so excited about it. I mean, the possibility here for me, in my mind, because I can see this unfolding into something that is breathtakingly, awesomely beautiful if I can stay locked into it long enough to, one, understand it, and then I've got to be able to convert that in my head to a context that I can kind of hold on to, because I can see it now. But when and I've said this before, when I see things like that go so far beyond the abilities that we have to comprehend the unseen, I can see it and it's beautiful, but there's no way I can convert that into something that somebody else can see and appreciate. You can only take that inspiration and that energy and create other little things in your life that can somehow be pieced together and create a fraction of the result that it has the potential to carry out. So that's where I like I said, I really wanted to make this recording closer to when I got out of bed and when I got up and when this was all still fresh in my mind. But even with all the distractions in the morning and everything that's gone on and the drama of the office and the drama of this business, I feel like it's still there and I still am connected to it, and that is fantastic. And you know, it's Friday. I have one more day left in the office on Monday, and then I've got the freedom to do whatever I want, and create whatever I want, experience whatever I want, and share whatever I want.